Hey guys, what's going on? Rick with Rick's Toy Room. We are going to crack into the last of our Overstock, our E case for 2025. Now, we've already cracked one of these on video before. We hit a super on it with the treasure hunt. I've hit multiple of the E case treasure hunts, both out in the field and just obviously in my cases. But last video that I uploaded, which was the C case, D case, you know that I missed the super, missed the treasure hunt. Nothing was actually in that box. So that was a complete bummer. Hopefully this one is not that same way. Hopefully we'll at least get the treasure hunt. I would love to get another super. Give me something else to flip on the website or at the garage sale. But that's not also the only thing I want to talk about today. So today is the 25th, or at least when I'm recording this video. And a couple new things have happened today. One, the Dunkin' Donuts that is nearest my house has just opened. They put a new one in next to Family Dollar, about half a mile up the road. I easily bike up to it, get a coffee, get a donut, come home, be fine. The problem is they just opened it. Today was their first opening. It is located in front of older neighborhood, right next to my neighborhood, which is fairly new, and then there's a neighborhood right next to it that's actually fairly newer. And they didn't staff for shit. They didn't stock for anything. I don't think they realized how much social media plays a part in businesses these days. And of course, this morning at like 6 a.m., the neighborhood Facebook page was like, "Hey, Dunkin's open. They're taking customers. They got food. We can finally get coffee close." And one of the biggest benefits about this particular Dunkin' Donuts is that it's easy to get in and out of. Like for us, where I live, to get to this place, again, it's quarter mile up the road. It's a quick pull into the driveway. You can circle around the Family Dollar, get through the drive-through, back out, easy in and out. The neighborhood that it's in front of, it's like one of the guys drove a golf cart up there today. Like, it's in a great location compared to the other two Dunkins. The Dunkin' closest to the freeway is on the opposite side of the freeway. It's got a very hard to get into driveway, so if you get into, you got to pass the freeway, go to the drive-thru, come back, cut across traffic, hit a red light, get on the freeway. It's a nightmare to get to. The other Dunkin' Donuts is buried in the back behind a really ghetto, old tire joint, and getting into their drive-thru is such a pain in the neck. Again, you can't just pull into it. You've got to go down the road, do a U-turn to get into it. People drive like idiots in that area. In that joint, the staff is always lazy as all get out. They don't ever want to make drinks at night. It's just a pain in the neck. So this Dunkin' had no idea what they were in for. People showed up. It took me 40 minutes to get just an iced coffee. And then the poor kid was so nervous because the old lady... So the two people on staff. You had I'm assuming the manager on duty who came from one of the other stores. He was at least trained well enough that you can tell he's done it a while. He knew where things were at. He knew how things worked. And then the other kid, you could tell was brand new. Probably first day on the job. Probably first day working with customers, honestly. He was a really young kid. Nervous as all get out. Didn't know how to deal with the crowd. Didn't know how to, work everybody. And the old lady behind me started losing her shit. And I'm looking at her really? You're 90 years old. What do you got to worry about? Where do you got to go? Granted, you're 1 foot in the grave, but look, your last coffee. Be happy about it. She started complaining to the kid. And I'm like, lady, do you not know how things work? First off, there's an order of operations for how things come into a restaurant, especially a fast food shop, where it's got a drive-through. They have online mobile orders working right now. You could see their board. It was red all the way across. They were behind on every single order they got. And she's complaining they'd let drive-through go first, that she's already been sitting in line. Lady, I was there for 40 minutes. Get a coffee. Relax. It's their first day. The kid's new. Anyhow, she started losing her shit, and the kid behind the counter, definitely looked like he was about to freak out and cry. The kid just kept apologizing. I'm like, dude, there's nothing to apologize for. It's first day. It's fine. I was like, let me get a coffee and a donut. I'm going to take him to go back to home. Kid forgot my donut, and I was like, I'm not even going to, start shit. This kid looks like he's about to crack as it is. I'm going to drink my coffee, smile. It really isn't worth the headache. So I feel sorry for the kid. I feel sorry for the staff. They have no idea what they're in for. And the guy that owns this franchise really should be shot. Because, the dude has no clue how to operate, or at least no clue how to plan staff properly for a store, especially for the location he put it in. And come to find out, he's the same guy that owns like all 3 of the ones in the area, plus a bunch more, and a bunch in Naples. And I'm like, you've been doing this long enough, you should know how to staff. So that's one thing that happened today. The other thing that happened today was Bambu Studios released their new... Let's get into cracking some Hot Wheels. They released their new... Here's our first 3. There's our next 3. Bambu Studios finally launched their new 3D printer. Everyone has been waiting for this new printer. They were looking for a bigger build size, looking for some new features, and they did not disappoint when it comes to that. The build size is not great. The build size is 350 by 325 by 325 or 325. Yeah, 350 by 325 by 325, and that's if you do both nozzles. It is a dual nozzle unit. If you do the one nozzle, it's 300 by 325 by 325, which, again, I'm not, like, I needed, for what I do, I like that one. For what I do and what I print, a 300 by 325 by 325 is perfect. It'll allow me to print helmets for my big old noggin in one shot and on a Bambu. Like, say what you want, they're expensive product, but you pay for a name brand. Not necessarily for just the name, but you're paying for the fact that they put in the time and effort to their machines. I know for a fact that I'm going to crack that machine open. As soon as I put that box open and crack that machine on and load up filament, it's going to print. It's going to print well. It is pricey, but it comes with a new version of the AMS that has a built-in heater to keep the filament dry, to help with humidity. It has... dual nozzles to make color changes faster, to make printing in multiple colors cleaner. Heated AMS. All right, here's our first hit of the night. There's the hunt. So there's the E-case hunt. At least we didn't get screwed. So dual heads make it print faster on multiple colors. The new AMS system. The AMS, which is the multicolor printer function, is backwards compatible, so you can take these new heated AMSs and use them on the older machines. So, for instance, my Bambu P1S that I have right now that I do multicolor on, I could just attach it to the hub, and I now have 8 colors. So, I thought that was a great feature. I think the build plate size is decent for what I need and what I want to use it for. It's good. For the idea of... some of the newer features. So they added on the ability to have a vinyl cutter attachment. It has in it. It has a plot drawer. What do they call it? A plotter attachment. So like it will draw. You could basically do auto sign like the president and all the documents for that Biden signed. You could auto sign a bunch of stuff. You can have it do drawings that you can just basically print. You don't have to worry about like hand drawing, whatever. Which I really don't know what function that serves, other than maybe when you're like doing the Cricut cut style. It also has a 10 or 40 watt laser engraver. So, and that has a ton of features and functions they had to add to it. So, price point was not cheap. If you wanted basically the fully loaded Cadillac of the new, what they call the H2D printer, it was $3,700. That's the 40 watt laser. That's all the hardware that comes with the laser engraver. That's the plotter. That's the cutter, and then that's the 3D printer. Now, I did not opt to spend $3,700 on a new printer today for a few reasons. One, I don't really have $3,700 today. I also had no need for the laser cutter, the plotter, right now. And for me, they were going to be a very niche use. Like, I don't have a lot of use cases to do engraving. If I want to do a lot of engraving, I will buy a laser engraver. If I wanted to do a lot of like Cricut cutting, I'd spend $300 and buy a Cricut. But at the same token, I don't want to use what space I have left in my office for all those machines. For maybe 1 or 2 times I would use them throughout a year. So a lot of people, however, are knocking the machine because they're like, oh, you missed the mark. The build plate's not that big. All those extra functions. I can buy machines that are dedicated to that. Folks, this machine is not for you then, okay? This machine's for somebody that wants to either dabble or has a small use need for those functions but don't want dedicated machines. They don't want to learn new software. They don't want to learn new hardware. There it is. We had another super. That was 2 EK supers. Both E cases that we had come in have the super. I'm trying to get to that gold logo. Yep, you can see it. That makes up for the D case, even though the D case would have been a new super for me. I can use that and either trade for the D or sell it and buy the D. Doesn't matter. Yes, I said I will sell and buy D. Okay, yeah. Laugh it up. I know there's a couple of you out there with that joke. I don't care. I am strong enough about myself to know that I can say that and it ain't gonna hurt no feelings. Anyhow, so there's, again, a lot of people complaining and argue and talking a lot of crap about Bambu Studios and how they missed the mark with this printer. This printer is not for them. It's not for people that want to do massive engravings. Like, there are much better and more high-powered lasers with other laser engravers with a lot of functions for people that want to do that as their deal. People that Bambu are marketing to with this new all-in-one solution are people with either not a lot of space, people that aren't going to be doing each separate function, full time. They need it for specific use cases, and they need to go back to whatever the other one is. Somebody like me, for instance, would love to have the cutter capability. I mean, look, I just did that large Ravage, and I would love to have the stickers for it. I looked at buying a Cricut yesterday, well, since I printed Ravage, and I've tried to either justify $300 for the Cricut 4 that's out or try to find used Cricut 3s on Marketplace because I know I'm only going to use it for a very specific use case. I'm only going to use it to make stickers for certain 3D prints, like if I did large-scale video game cases, or if I wanted to 3D print a custom housing for Star Fox 2 if I did a modded board. Like, there are very specific use cases I would need those functions for, but it doesn't justify me spending $200-$300 for an individual Cricut that I'm going to use 1 or 2 times every couple months, and then it's going to have to sit in the closet somewhere, right? Same thing with the laser engraver. I would love to have a laser engraver to do like custom Zippo cases, or to do, you've seen that Batman wallet, the little leather like ID holder that the guy cut out the Batman eyes and engraved the Batman cowl, and so when he puts his ID in it, it looks like the guy's got a Batman mask on. That would be cool. Like, I'm not going to buy that wallet because I don't need just, that one little piece of wallet, plus I haven't seen them anywhere. But I'm also not going to go buy a laser engraver cutter to make that, right? So, even though right now I can't justify those parts, the fact that the new machine has that capability, that for probably the machine without the laser engraver and cutter, with it was $3,700. Without it was $2,200. So for $1,500 for the added features, which includes the vacuum to pull out the fumes, the fire suppressant. It has a small basically anti-fire function inside the printer for tools. It's got a couple extra parts that it needs. It's got new clip-on. It has a clip-on, like the new design for the heads. The cutter and the laser actually snap in, so they're a very proprietary module. Like, those functions exist. I can buy the separate. So $1,500 for all those parts at a later date. Honestly, not terrible, right? Because by the time I buy an actual laser engraver, you've got to have like a big setup for them. They've got if I can literally just pop out a module, hook up a hose, and I'm ready to laser engrave 1 or 2 items that I need to engrave and then be done, that to me is worth the cost. Now, what was the machine cost without the laser engraver? Like I said, $2,200, not including shipping and tax. $2,200 for a Bambu Studios 3D printer that offers a new AMS, which the AMS by themselves are $350. They offer a almost double build plate size compared to the current PS1. Worth it. So I wanted the bigger build plate size. I wanted the new AMS system, which again, now I have the ability to have 8 colors on my PS1 or P1S. I could switch the 4 from the P1S to the HD2. I've got a lot of flexibility. I did it. I spent the $2,200. I bought it this morning. With shipping and tax was $2,500. And I've already got the shipping notification. It's going to be here in about 3 days. Should be here. They haven't picked it up yet from the factory, but once they do, I'll have the exact shipping date. But I think it's coming ground, so probably 5 days. Theoretically, I could have it as early as Saturday. I'll probably have it next Monday, which would be great because I'm on PTO all next week, so I'll have a new printer to play with. But yeah, I bought it. Like, I wanted the bigger build plate. I've been wanting to do helmets. I am still butthurt about not being able to make the Deadpool and Wolverine helmets when Deadpool and Wolverine came out. Now I have the ability not only to print those in scale that'll fit my head, but I'm going to print it with a Bambu Labs, which means, like I said, practically out of the box, push a button and go. It has a lot of new AI features that do the setup automatically for you. It's very self-configuring. Like, the machine itself is going to be technologically way more advanced than anything else that they've released so far. And again, the knowledge of knowing that I can just plug this thing in, drop in filament, hit a button, it's going to print well. I'm in. Like, there's no questions asked. I'm not even... It wasn't even a hesitation this morning when I saw it online for order. I had no qualms about spending the amount of money that they wanted for that printer. And again, for everything that it does, everything that it has the capability to do, and what it's going to allow me to expand to in the future, yeah, I did it. And I know there's a lot of people on the Bambu Facebook group right now that's losing their mind about this printer. Like I said, they're complaining that it's way too much money for what it is. I'm sorry, but all the people that are saying that immediately right now, like, oh, how much money that is, and compared to all the pieces I can buy, it's the cry of somebody being too broke to afford it. Like, I get it. I have not, you want it. You're not going to get it. You're not going to be one of the first people to have it. You're not going to be able to, like, you can't justify or explaining why you need to spend $2,200 on a printer for something that essentially you already do. Like, I get it, and you're upset about it. But don't knock the machine, don't knock the company, because A, you don't have one, so you haven't tested it, you haven't ran it, you really don't know. And it doesn't sound like you have the features or need to be able to want to buy it to justify the price. So I'm going to call you out. I've been calling out a lot of people on Facebook for basically being too broke to afford it. And it's not even really about being broke at this point. It's about just being negative about something that, again, doesn't have value to you. I'll tell you this. When we used to sell phones, and I never wanted to sell phones. Like, back in the day when Nextel was the bomb, when beep, beep, chirp, chirp, where you at was the thing, I never wanted to be a salesman. Just didn't. I didn't like the idea of it. I always thought that salesmen were very, like, slimy and dirty. And I had a lot of used car salesmen work for me, and they always use a lot of almost pushy tactics. And one of the things that I was taught early on was not how to be a pushy salesman, but was how to sell the value of a product. Doesn't matter what the product costs. And it doesn't matter if the person in front of you is going to use their last dollar to buy it. It is not up to you as a salesman to determine if someone can afford a product. It is not up to you as a salesman to determine whether or not they should afford a product. You as a salesman should always explain the value of a product, and you let a person decide whether they can afford that value. Now, again, there are certain times where I disagree with that, and there are certain times where, as a good salesman, you say, look, I know you want this really fancy cell phone that has the color screen, the flip phone, the cool ringtones. You're also 90 years old. You're on Social Security. You don't need those functions. You don't need all the shit. You don't. Like, are you going to play games? No. Are you planning on listening to Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time ringtone? No. Okay. You don't really need it. What you need is the 99 cents Nextel 205 bar phone, non-flips, not going to break, sturdy, it's going to do its job. And if you want, it's got removable face covers. And yes, that right there shows you that I still remember and I have that shit ingrained in my head because I can tell you exactly what the i205 looked like, its functionality versus the i95, okay? That's how old I am and that's how good I was at my job. But the point is, you have to know your customer. And if you're a customer that doesn't see the value in buying all these added features because they do things you don't need or don't want, then you don't buy it. But I don't say it's a shitty product because I don't see the value in what it adds. At the same token, I'm not going to sit here and say every single person in the world needs all these functions because look at all the things it can do. There are people that are just never going to use them, so it makes no sense to spend that money. Then there are people that are at one point or another going to want or need those functions, would like to have them, and it would be good to upgrade later. And there's people with just disposable income or has like 6 different side businesses and could use all the features, so you might as well spend the $3,700, get the thing all in one, run it, right? Buy what you need. Buy what works for you, buy what you can afford, buy what you can do. All right, like I said, I didn't spend $3,700 this morning because I didn't have $3,700 to blow. Now, if I had an extra 37, I would have just bought everything so that I could play with all of it. But that's the key phrase, to play with it. I'm not doing a laser engraving side business. I don't have a Cricut cutter side business. I don't need stickers and labels and custom greeting cards and all that nonsense. What I do need is a large format printer that works out of the box that I know is not going to fail every time I turn around, walk away from it, or every time the dog sneezes, right? I need a large format printer that's going to function, that is going to be reliable, that can do multiple colors, and if I want later, can expand. So that's why I bought an H2D today. And we just went through an entire E-case, not even talking about Hot Wheels. So welcome to my channel because we go squirrel a lot. Again, the big hits here were we got both out of this case, which was just an amazing hit. The E-case Gold Treasure Hunt, the E-case Regular Treasure Hunt, the E-case Super Treasure Hunt, the E-case Regular Treasure Hunt, both of which I have, so both of these will go up for sale. Yeah, that's it. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. Like, subscribe, follow. Now that I bought the printer, that will probably be the next video of unboxing it, putting it together, and well, I probably won't do all the slow crap, the putting it together, but I will definitely show you when it comes in. I'll run a print on it, show you what I think, give you a quick review of it. And we're definitely going to run that Deadpool helmet again. And we're going to make it fit this time. And it's going to be great. And we're going to do Wolverine, and it's going to be great. And then we're going to do Daredevil Born Again in 2 different colors that'll fit my big-ass head because I bought a printer that can do that. All right, y'all. More to come. Wait till the next video. We'll see what else we get into. Later.